Welcome to WeLearn. This is session first of MIS, that is Management Information System. Today we are going to cover different topics like introduction, function of MIS, why Management Information System, what is the purpose of information system. Then in the further part of the session we are going to cover the types of information system. What is exactly management information system, that we are going to cover. Components of MIS and how to make MIS strong and successful, that will be the part of today's session. In the later part of the session we are going to cover limitation of MIS and the importance of MIS. So these are the topics that are supposed to be covered in today's session of management information system. Now, MIS is what basically? It's a three-letter acronym, and first of all we ought to know the meaning of three different terms which form basically the management system. So basically management information system is a combination of three English letters in which M stands for management, I stands for information and S stands for system, that collectively called as a MIS. Management, when we talk about the management, it means manage the man tactfully, in a judicial manner, in a very tactful manner, so that diplomatic issues can be handled in a easier manner. Next term is information, which reflects that the data or information which is acting as a raw material in the information system, it should be processed in a layman language so that it should be understandable at all level. Next term is system, which means a group of interrelated or interacting elements which ultimately forms a unified whole. Because system is developed to achieve the common goals of the organization, and it is a collection of different components. A system is basically the collection of different components, and these components should interact with each other in a unified whole. Now let us discuss some few terms that popularly used in the MIS, that is MI means management information, it means information regarding the management. Next term that is popularly used in MIS is MS, that is management system, it means the fundamental structure of the management. IS basically stands for information system, which provides the information. SM, next term is SM, system management. It means how to deal with a system, whether it's a business organization or a computer system. It covers the behavior of the system also to manage the system. Now let's talk about the definition of MIS. The term management information system basically refers to the data, equipment and computer program that are used to upsurge information for managerial use. जब कलेक्टिवली मैनेजमेंट के डेटा को मैनेज करने के लिए डेटा, इक्विपमेंट्स, कंप्यूटर प्रोग्राम्स, they are collectively used so that a manager can take useful decision. Such kind of information system is basically called as a MIS. So MIS is a system that adds management in carrying out and controlling the decision, and this decision was actually given by J. Cantor, who is very much popular management guru. According to him, MIS is basically responsible for making the decision in a fruitful manner. Now let's talk about the function of management. Function of management basically includes various important phases of management The first one is planning, second is organizing, third is directing, fourth is staffing, fifth is controlling. So planning, organizing, directing, staffing and controlling, these are said to be the functions of the management, which is the key function of organizations. Now let us discuss about the purpose of information system. If any company maintains the MIS, then what is the goal behind it? What is the purpose of using any information system inside the organization? So this habitually misunderstanding between the terms MIS and information system. Now let's differentiate these two terms by taking some suitable examples. An information system is what basically it is a set of interacting artifact and human activities that performs one or more function involving the handling of data and information, including data collection, data creation, editing, processing, storage and information selection, filtering, aggregation, presentation and finally usage. So this is the purpose of using information system, which ultimately includes the collection of different sources for storing of the data, editing and ultimately the usage of data. Purpose of information system further is a sum of computer subsystem and social system, which in totally take a shape of information system that is defined in terms of computer system and social system, which ultimately includes hardware, servers, computers, some facts and figures, data, because information analysis is based on these facts and figure, and we need to follow certain procedures and standards in terms of quality control, which ultimately focus on to the people who are actually using this information system. Now let's discuss about the types of information system. There are different types of information system like transaction processing system, management information system, decision support system, office automation system, knowledge work system, executive support system. All these systems are basically representing the information system in different domain. When we talk about the transaction processing system, which involves the processing of day-to-day transaction, and such system which are used for TPS, that is transaction processing system, it should be fast enough to perform the routine work in an efficient and speedy manner. Management information system is the collective concept which is merging the information system with that of the management hierarchy, in which the information system is basically utilized by different levels of the management. In decision support system is not basically responsible for producing a fruitful decision, rather it helps the decision taker in supporting their decisions. Another kind of information system that we are going to cover is office automation system, which involves the normal processing of the organization to be carried out in an automized manner. Like instead of relying on to the postal department, we can rely on email system. We can rely on different automatic tools that are used in a wide level in the organization's processing, like fax machine, mobile services, SMS services and all. Next is knowledge work system, in which we kept basically is the processed information, so that the decision maker can use this processed information in a fraction of seconds and decisions can be carried out, because most of the data is already in processed form in knowledge work system. Executive support system basically supports the executives who actually has to take on the decision, and this executive support systems helps in reaching out a sort of analysis, processing of facts and figure, so that the decisions can be carried out at different levels of the management. There are different definitions of the MIS, and some of we have already covered. Another improved definition of MIS is that a management information system aims at meeting the information needs of the managers, predominantly with regard to the current and past operation of the enterprises. Yes, it is true. MIS is a kind of asset, is a kind of tool in the hands of the manager, because the work of manager basically includes important ingredient, that is the decision making. So MIS will act as a repository of data which will help the manager to use this repository for the fruitful decision making. Management information system as a system which provides precise, timely and meaningful data for management planning, analysis and control to optimize the growth of the organization. Management information is not responsible only for the storage of data. Rather, we must say that it is not a way of storing the bulk amount of data of an organization into the MIS. Rather, the data must be available in a precise and timely manner. And the worth of this data is that it should be meaningful data for the management planning. Management is looking for the planning, analysis and control of the organization. So if any sort of data is already in a processed form, if it is stored inside the MIS, it will be helpful for the management planning, analysis and control. Now, another important question that will be striking in your mind is that what is the need of developing the information system, or why we should move towards the management information system. So the answer of this particular question is that the majority of workers are knowledge workers, as they spend time in creating, distributing or using information. The very high quality illustrations are bankers, coordinations, case workers, counselors, community organizers, programmers, insurance advisors, consultant. These are the people who actually make use of the management information system in different parts of their work as they are working as a knowledge worker. So basically, information is the starting point for virtually all the activities that are performed in an organization. So the best use of two key ingredients in organization is people and the organization. So MIS is basically the container which kept the information regarding people as well as organization. Right? Now different components of MIS are planning, next is inventory and material management, next finance and accounting, next is purchasing, manufacturing and logistics, material management, warehouse management, project management, customer service management, quality control. These are the different components of MIS. Apart from this, globalization, budgeting, funds management, extensive sales management, retail, inventory, asset management, branches and profit centers. Now let's talk about the forces which make MIS strong and successful. So there are basically distinguished forces which make MIS well built and flourishing. The first one is e-commerce. Yes, e-commerce, without which internet and e-commerce is like boat without rudder. आजकल के टाइम में ई-कॉमर्स के बगैर काम करना या इंटरनेट के बगैर काम करना इस तरह से है जैसे किसी बोट में नाविक ना हो, Customer is a vital for every vendor, either it is a fast moving consumer goods or service oriented organization like MIS. So these are the two important parameters which make the MIS strong and successful, that is e-commerce and customer. Another important factor which is responsible for making the MIS strong and successful is enterprises itself. Yes, it is an appropriate place where it can show its potential. And another important component is financial infrastructure. MIS needs a fiscal setup which is being provided by the MIS. Now let's talk about the limitation of MIS. Customization is costly. Yes, although MIS is a tool in the hands of manager, it will act as an asset for the organization. But maintenance of MIS is also a cost effective measure, because sometimes MIS needs to be customized at different levels, then it becomes costly. So customization is a time consuming, and in many cases it's impractical also. Implementation of an MIS project is a long process. MIS engenders a host of fears. Some of them are job redundancy. Yes, it is one of the most important factor. Job redundancy is the limitation of MIS. Decline of an individual's monopoly over information monopoly. जिसके पास डेटा होता है उसी की मोनोपली होती थी पहले, लेकिन MIS के आने की वजह से there is a sharing of data, so there is a decline of individuals monopoly over the information monopoly. Now let's talk about the importance of MIS. Operational excellence it provides. MIS provides the operational excellence to their employees. New products, services and business models are offered. Customer and supplier intimacy can be generated. Improved decision making is possible because of MIS. MIS also provides a competitive advantage. In nowadays, for the survival of the organization, it is important, not important, rather it's mandatory to maintain the MIS for the survival of the organization. So before we end this session, there is a do-it-yourself exercise for you. You have to write the 10 points for the same. First question is, what is information system? And the second question, talk about the importance of MIS. Right? With this, we are going to finish this session. Thank you. Happy learning, we learning.